Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Prep Sports Night Live. I'm Richard Stray, along with Steve Calhoun and the gang, and we're coming to you live from Brews in Tustin, where tonight, Steve, we have ladies' night. We have the flag footballers.
Absolutely. It's lady night. Hey, all the ladies behind us is bringing a lot of great energy to our show tonight, so I'm looking forward to getting to it.
We have teams from Rosary, Tustin, I believe. We've got Beckman in the house tonight, and a few others. Woodbridge is here. And we're going to be talking to some of the coaches, and this is the first year that they're actually having a playoff for the ladies in football.
Hey, it's about time, better late than never. It's about time that they actually have a format, and you can see who's going to be the actual top team in flag football in Orange County or around Southern California. And
big news last night, Beckman knocking off one of the top seeds. We're going to talk to John Conti and of Coach Thompson about that in just a little bit, and of course Coach P from Pierre from Beckman. His team actually knocked off one of the top seeds, man.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't it great?
That is. That just shows you how much coaching is going into it, and then how much the knowledge of the game that the ladies have been processing and being able to go out there and execute. That just shows how smart they are as football players as well.
I can't wait to the playoffs to finish up now, because we've already seen upsets in the first round. Things like that you normally don't see, but there's big business this week.
Oh, yeah.
This is the biggest week every year during football season when Mater Dei and Bosco lock it up. And usually they're both in the top 1, 2, or 3 in the country when they play.
Yes.
No different this year. Mater Dei's number 1 top everybody's polls, but Bosco's 2, 3, 4, depending upon which poll you're looking at, but predominantly they're number 2. So another number 2 team for Mater Dei to get over.
Hey, the game is already started to build up. The atmosphere, is it going to be at the Santa Ana Bowl? If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be at Santa Ana Bowl. I know that thing's probably already sold out. Hey, the guy who's going to be driving the bus for that Mater Dei offense is Dash Beverly, the quarterback who just transferred in. Hey, he stepped in and actually filled the shoes, and just undefeated, number 1 team in the country. I am looking forward to an unbelievable game.
Yeah, it took a little time for him to actually settle in at Mater Dei,
yes,
but
he did. Yep.
That team is just so talented all the way around. Top level wide receivers, guys going to Ohio State. I mean, they're going everywhere across the country. But I think what his big benefit was having that huge offensive line.
Yeah, the huge offensive line. I mean, those guys. You can compare those guys to the Rams, to the Chargers.
Yes.
And the running back that's running behind that huge offensive line,
Jordan
Davidson. That's right. You know what I mean? So he's about 215 as well.
Yeah.
So you got the huge 300-pound offensive line, Jordan Davidson running behind him. It makes it easy to go play action. So I'm looking forward to an exciting game this week.
Mater Dei just pounds defenses with that running game, and they throw when they need to. Laura actually mixes it up. I've seen 3 Mater Dei games live this year, and Laura mixes it up. He doesn't predominantly run. He doesn't predominantly throw. It's just there's really no rhyme or reason except for him and his team. They understand what they're doing. But when you look at it, don't expect to see Davison carrying the ball 35 times, and that's their staple, because it's not.
No, definitely not. Just mentioning Davison again, he comes from a stable. There's a facility up north in the Bay Area, and they train, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, and he comes from that same stable from coming up north. And that's just another running back who has unbelievable vision, balance, and it's hard to tackle, especially behind that offensive line.
And then you have to deal with their defense, which again is so athletic. They're so big up front, and not just that, the linebackers look like professionals already.
Yes,
they have the pro look, and it's no reason Mater Dei has to leave the state and take on the top schools across the country in order to get a schedule filled.
Yes.
It's tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The fact that they only have 9 games this year, which is kind of a little bit disservice, to the kids who need that extra game, maybe for recruiting, maybe not, because everybody on their team is being recruited by everybody in the country.
Everybody's watching.
Exactly.
And they're still coming out, the Mater Dei faithful. Now, this game every year is the biggest game in the southern section. But what's so funny is usually, I think it's only happened once or twice in the last decade, whoever wins the regular season loses in the postseason. I don't understand that.
Yeah, how funny is that? Hey, so we have a young freshman quarterback, like we mentioned last week on our show, Mali Maluna.
Yes.
Okay? Hey, played at SoFi last week against Servite. Hey, stepped up. Great game there. I don't think the lights are going to be too bright, okay, for him to come out and play an excellent game. He has a great supporting cast. and with Coach Negro by his side, I think they're gonna have a great game plan, and it's going to be a competitive game.
Most coaches would panic losing their starting quarterback this late into the season. Game 7 or whatever it was when they lost their quarterback to Hawaii.
Yeah, to Kahuku.
I understand it. There's an opportunity there for his dad to work, and they're leaving nobody behind here.
No,
which is probably smart, especially with all the notoriety his son's getting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, but Koa doesn't have to do it all by himself. They had a 3-headed monster at running back there. There's Malik Allen, Ashton Keys, and Jeremy Lenore. Okay. They're going to be running the ball. I mean, all three of them can take the ball from 0 to 60, take it to the house. And then you got Madden Williams, their #1 wide receiver, probably one of the best receivers in California, to throw the ball to. So when Mater Dei starts to suck up, trying to take away the run, they can throw it over the top to Madden Williams. So I'm expecting to be a great game.
Well, I expected one, too, as usual. We'll just have to wait and see. Mater Dei isn't one of these explosive teams that's just gonna run away with things. They play very methodical football. They start quick, though. I got to tell you that against Centennial and against Bishop Gorman, Mater Dei started quick and just kept the pace even. Of course, the other team settles in too. Gorman settled in finally. Centennial settled in, but it was too little, too late. They were just so big up front. They just wear everybody down. And as it gets later in the game, then Mater Dei all of a sudden. 2-3 touchdowns up, and you wonder how they got there.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about offense, and we're talking about the big offensive line from Mater Dei. Hey, but there's a ball hawk in the Bosco secondary. His name is Isla Wiley Ava. It's a sophomore free safety. Okay, he has 5 interceptions on the season.
Wow.
He will not just let those guys just run through him. Hey, so he's going to be back there running around. He's a great tackler, and like I said, he has 5 interceptions. So when the ball goes in the air, he thinks it's his ball, so he's going to go and try to make an interception every time it's sent.
And you got to give Bosco credit, too, because they also have to travel across the country, play the best schools. They played Chaminade this year
Florida.
from Florida. Man, Max Prep's one of those guys to be the national champion so bad. And let's be honest, man, they didn't play a schedule.
No.
They didn't even leave Florida. So how are you going to give the national nod when you don't even leave your state?
Yeah.
Duncanville, the same thing.
Yeah. I think, between Mater Dei and Bosco and maybe Gorman, they're going to have to continue to fly all the way across the country to find these competitive games because nobody locally wants to play these, teams.
And you know what? The Trinity League, in and of itself, is just, that would be enough for any high school to go through and say, yep, you guys played the toughest schedule in the country, but, Mater Dei and Bosco have to go out and get that extra game.
Yeah. And we were just talking before we actually came on the air, we were talking about there might be a Trinity League team that goes into the second division, in the playoffs. They might have a chance to run the table, just kind of like Mission Viejo did. So that league is very, very competitive. Hey, but Mater Dei Bosco, hey, says it all. Just those those headlines right there says it all. And I'm looking forward to seeing the game.
So now, today it was announced through the Southern Section office that the Division I final is going to be held at Vet Stadium.
Okay.
It's a one-sided stadium. It's big. It holds 11,500. Cerritos holds 1,000 more. We talked about how come maybe they're not having the game at Cerritos College, which has 2 sides.
Yes.
We got about 250 on each side.
Exactly.
But they're not going to do it. So I have to assume Cerritos has a football game that night, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe they do, and it's a home game, so they can't get the stadium. I wouldn't give it up if I were the Cerritos.
No, definitely not.
But I'm wondering how long it's going to be before SoFi just steps up and says, look, you guys can have the game for the big game here on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I think since they've already held 2 high school games this year, I think it's going to be in the works within the next year or so. Yeah. I think they're going to cave to the pressure.
It should be that way. It should be that way.
Yes.
And just get it done. You're the perennial stadium right now. You're the pretty shiny toy out there. Everybody wants to go see it.
Absolutely.
It'll probably behoove them to reach out more to the local communities and have more of these games there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It's awesome. People show up.
Yeah. From Sierra Canyon, out there, and then all the teams here, Bosco and Mater Dei. There can be some very, very competitive games, played in that stadium, and they should allow it.
No doubt about it. Now, a couple more things we talked about before we get over to the move on to the next portion of the show. Woodbridge and Pacifica, man. Coach got suspended because they didn't finish a game a couple weeks back.
Exactly.
I've never heard about that. That's the first time I've ever heard a coach be suspended because he did not want to finish a game.
Yeah.
I even hate talking about things like that. I'm not going to mention the coach's name, but suspended for the rest of the season, which is I mean, it's tough. I mean, I understand he's had a tough year, but Steve, unless it's extreme, man, you can't just do that.
It is.
8 minutes to go, you keep playing.
Yeah. 8 minutes to go in the game. It's 29-0. It's not like it's 69-0. You know what I mean?
Keep playing.
Keep playing. I understand it got pretty chippy. Referees throwing the flags. I think the referees has to set the tone in the beginning, okay, to really temper those players from getting talking too much trash and for it to end up in a big fight like that, and the coach being suspended. Referees got to do a better job.
It's tough. Well, according to the refs, everything was under control, and according to one of the supers, Prickett was under control. But you know what? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, trouble's in the eye of the beholder. It's all how you feel. I'm assuming Coach thought he was doing what's right by his team, and again, getting suspended just sends another message. But I understand you have to finish the games. You can't just stop because you're not happy about the score.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, we talk about just a little bit of a maybe soft culture, you know what I mean? And the coach has to finish, what kind of message are you sending the kids? Like, hey, wave the white flag. We're not going to finish 8 minutes ago. Hey, you have the opportunity to teach the kids about some adversity. And when you're down, you got to continue to get back up. And these are life lessons that they can learn as they get older and they get done playing high school football. They can use these lessons, okay?
And
as they get older.
I get it. When things get chippy, all you got to do is call a timeout and say, look.
Yeah.
You guys got to you got to finish playing. You got to be on alert the whole time. You got to stand up. You got to get a fire off the ball and hit people. That's the way you finish the game, and that's the way chippy goes away.
Yeah. Or even call the timeout.
Play through the whistle.
Yes.
Play through the whistle. That's it.
Yeah. Call the timeout. The referee grab both head coaches. You guys, talk to both of those head coaches. Have the head coaches come back and talk to their team, and now it has to be that internal discipline. Okay. Anybody else that gets into a fight, hey, you're going to be doing 100 bear crawls or whatever, or you can get kicked off the team.
Absolutely.
And I think that right there would, stop everything.
A lot of stuff going on, Steve. All right, we didn't get to talk about the divisional playoffs. We've got some other stuff to talk about, but we got to move on right now.
Okay.
Let's go over to John Conti. John Conti has somebody with him, and he's going to talk about our sponsors. John.
Thank you very much, Rich and Steve. Yes, we're going to talk about our sponsors because we cannot do this without them. Thank you to Suzuki, motorcycles and ATV engineered for the unexpected. And the Water Heater Warehouse, your emergency is their priority. I'm actually hanging out right now with some special guests. We'll get to them in a minute. WaterHeaterWarehouse.com. We can't do this without them. And, of course, Rheem, the new degree of comfort, the largest manufacturer of water heater products in North America, the new degree of comfort. And, of course, Lighthouse Escrow, where white glove service is the way they do business, serving realtors throughout the state of California. And Coastal Capital Funding. With the Coastal Capital Group, you're almost home. Visit them at gocoastalcapital.com. And, of course, Colossal Tax Service. For all of your tax and accounting needs, visit our friend Ruben at colossaltaxservice.com. And, of course, we all know this. Life's a beach. Light a candle. Check out the Pelican Sky Candle Company, PelicanSkyCandleCo.com. And, of course, everything we do here on the patio at Rock and Brews, which is where I'm standing right now. A big thank you to all the good people at Rock and Brews. And let's not forget, just because we do this show for a few months out of the year, you can find us all year long, all across our social media. Make sure you check out at Armed and Dangerous Quarterbacks. That's my man, Steve Calhoun. All right, well, now that you know how to find us and you know what we're doing, I am really honored to be standing here with my man, Chris Flores, from the Water Heater Warehouse. Chris, how you doing this evening?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. First of all, Chris, I'd like to thank you and your company for all the generosity you give to Prep Sports Media. Without you, we can't put games on TV, and we cannot have events like this. What has this meant to you to be a sponsor of this event?
Truly special, just helping out the kids, making sure we help out the community, and making sure we keep going on with the sports, right? The kids matter. It's our future. Want to make sure everybody's having fun out there.
And that's exactly why we have sponsors like you, because you align with our values. Thank you so much for everything you do. Don't forget, please support my man Chris from the Water Heater Warehouse. Let me move on right here. What's your name, young man?
Benjamin.
Benjamin Flores with me. This is Chris's son. He's actually taller than me because he's standing on a chair. I'm really not this small. All right, Benjamin, talk to me. What sport do you play?
Soccer.
And what position do you play?
Striker.
And what team do you play for?
Rangers, Fullerton.
Very nice. And what are your goals after you're done playing soccer on this level? Would you like to play in high school?
Yes.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
A professional soccer player.
I love it. You're very well spoken as well, so maybe you have a career in the media. I'd like to thank you, Benjamin. Chris, I'd like to thank you for your constant support. Again, check them out, waterheaterwarehouse.com. We cannot do this stuff without these guys. All right, it looks like the head coach of Woodbridge High School, Mark Thompson, is sitting at the desk with Rich Estrella. Over to you guys.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. And, of course, we are sitting here with head coach of Woodbridge, Mark Thompson. And there you go, a little appreciation there. Now, Coach Thompson, of course, is one of the forerunners of getting this flag football thing going. Boy, he's been vocal, trying to get at the high school level. I mean, a lot of stuff. So this guy's just not a coach, man. He's a flag football activist is what you want to call you, because you were haranguing people to get this going.
Yes, definitely, huh?
Because you guys are playing in South Orange County. You guys have had leagues down here already, but nothing at the high school, nothing at any other level.
That's true. Yeah, it's really exciting for us to have it at the high school level to prepare for the college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, tell us about your team right now. We know you guys had a good season. You guys are in the playoffs. What's going on?
Thank you. Yeah, really exciting season this year. We had 5 returners from our last year's team. So it was really fun for us coaches to figure out all the new players and where they fit within the team, just get all the pieces together.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be hard, like, for instance, last year, maybe that's why they didn't have a playoffs, because nobody really knew what anybody had. Really, they didn't. And when you're blazing a trail like this, very, very difficult, number one, to figure out what you got, how it's going to mesh, how are you going to be able to compete. I mean, there's just so many moving parts. So maybe it was good that they didn't have any playoffs in that first year. So, you know, maybe that worked out good for everybody. But this year, you guys are all in full swing right now.
Yeah, and this is all new for us, too. First time with these playoffs. We get to play teams from other regions here in Southern California. So it's really exciting to do that.
Yep. So who do you have coming up, and how do you think you're going to do in these playoffs, man?
Oh, you never know. Like I said, you don't know who these other teams are and who they played and how good those teams are. So It's really difficult to figure it out.
Sure.
We're playing on Saturday. We're playing Warren High School in Downey.
Wow, okay.
So we get to go to their field and just do what we do.
How do they figure you guys out? Because, like, you know, in football, we got the rating system through Cal Preps, but football, they've been playing in Southern California for 120 years now, so it's well established. But with you guys, you know, you're still new. How did they come about, like, putting the brackets together? That's got to be the most difficult thing to do without any, you know, any other point of reference.
It really is. But CIF, they use the same type of weighting that they do for the boys football, for tackle football. So it's the same thing: strength of schedule, who you played, who they played, what the scores were. It's more of an art than a science.
Right. How many divisions are there?
There's 5 divisions this year.
Wow, that's a lot less than high school football, regular football.
Yeah, but for the first year of a new sport, that's really exciting. 32 teams per division, except for Division 1, 16 teams.
See, your brackets are 32 teams?
Mm-hmm. Division 1, 16. And then the rest are 32, yeah.
Wow, that's nuts,
I know.
Man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's amazing how fast the sport has gone.
What do you know about Warren coming up?
I don't know much, really. They won their league as well, so they were 8-0 in league, undefeated.
They're a much bigger high school than you guys.
Yeah.
They got about 4,500 kids in that school as well. All Downey schools are big.
It's crazy, yeah. So we don't know. We'll see.
That's the fun part of it, man, the unknown. Who's Bob standing by there with?
So that is our amazing assistant coach, Coach AB. It's her first year with the program, JV, and she's done amazing things with our team.
She played before?
She has. So she
knows what's happening.
She played in high school as well. She played soccer too, so she knows. She's coached for several seasons with the youth leagues. So we're so lucky to have her. She brings the experience. She brings the energy. The girls love her.
Looks like she could still play.
Oh, yeah.
She can still compete
she does.
at a
You see
high
her at
level.
practice, yeah.
That's good, though, because you can run around with the kids and demonstrate. There's no separation there.
Exactly.
All right, let's give it to Bob. Bob, how you doing?
All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to talk to Coach about her playing career just a little bit, but I thought it was interesting. You said that you really wanted to coach when you drove out here kind of on your own for a job, right? Just dove right in. Never been to California. Now you're in California. You want to coach. You cast a wide net out to all the schools, and Woodbridge found you, and they're lucky to have you. What was it like to find out, hey, you're going to get a chance to coach flag football out here?
It was exhilarating. So I started off with Little League, and it was nice to know a lot of the girls I've coached from 7th grade and 8th grade were actually attending Woodbridge. Okay. So that was even more exciting to get to see them through the process, see them develop as athletes. So That made it all worth the while. And then getting to actually assess and see my girls grow, earn their chance on varsity, and want to work for their spot is definitely rewarding as a coach.
So because you've played it before in high school, you've got the leg up on it, right? The sport is so new out here. It's only the second year of in existence in high school. So what were the things you kind of wanted to teach the girls or really help them grasp, as a coach because of your experience?
Yeah, so my first thing as far as being on teams, my favorite part was my team. So it wasn't really the games. It wasn't necessarily the wins or losses. It was the moments I had with my team, the bus rides, like having those like community, that sportsmanship, that made it all more worth the while. So my kids have like team dinners, which is so great where they get to bond outside of just wins and losses where we're either really silent or we're really loud. They get to have those moments as teammates, whether teammates in the classroom and then on the field.
So you told me you were a dancer,
yes.
Right? So I got to think that automatically makes you a good athlete,
yeah,
right? So
light
that
light as a feather.
So for flag football, you got to be, right? You have to be, right? Keep that flag from getting pulled, right? So
yes.
Perfect sport for you.
Yes, and I say definitely grew up with a trained dancer. So to go from ballet to the field and flags and cleats, definitely a switch in careers, but definitely a great switch. I didn't realize how dance would be such a good fundamental as far as like core strength, speed, and just being able to have confidence in my body to move it. So definitely made it a lot easier for playing flag. And
you're coaching a great team with Mark. How much fun has it been to see how these girls have grown throughout the season?
On a scale of 10, 11, like it's been definitely a lot of good experience as far as like being in a community. In Little League, you're kind of coaching alone a lot. So it's just you and your team every time. Every practice is on me. Every game's on me. So to have a support system like someone like Coach Mark by my side has made it all worth the while as far as like looking forward to the games and looking forward to someone to lean on as far as ideas and not feeling like, okay, I'm on my own as a coach because I'm still learning as a coach every day too with the girls.
And how important is it to have that Little League, to have girls come in and get that confidence, right? To know they can play football, right? It's looked at as a boys' sport, right? Tackle football, but this isn't tackle football. This is a different sport. But how much does that help the girls, get their confidence?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot as far as like them entering a world where it's not really known for women and then being able to like dominate it. Like being able to say I'm good at this world and being able to match the boys' energy. Because we even had like some of the boys from tackle be able to see the girls practice and like they want to show out. They want to show I can catch the ball. I can run my route fast. So I think it definitely builds the confidence to say I can definitely stand up in my position as strong as you can.
And I know everybody talks about it. Everybody's excited about the future. We're talking about college flag football, a national team, maybe the Olympics, right? All that stuff. This sport has grown so much. How excited are you about seeing? And let me ask you, how much further do you think the sport has to go?
I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be as big as, like, hopefully NFL one day, but definitely on the same level as, like, equalization of WNBA type of thing, where it will definitely be that outlet where girls can get that aggression out, get those things, like, and show their skills without it being as competitive as, like, tackle football. But I think it's going to be huge as far as college goes, and I dream to be part of the coaching staff for the Olympics. That would be awesome. Like, to see that now be somewhere where it's, like, being recognized in this way, this is a good stuff for the sport.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Coach, we appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations. And you're still alive in the playoffs. You got a chance for a championship. Good luck.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate being here today.
All right, that is Coach AB, guys. Back over to Coach Mark and Rich.
All right, thank you, Bob. Man, sounds like Coach AB is busy with that team.
Oh, she is, definitely, but she has them under control.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, she looks like she can outrun everybody still, run you down. Come on, let me show you how to run this route. But
absolutely,
no, she sounds like she's having a good time, and she's looking forward to the sport building, which is great. Coach, you won Coach of the Week. Chargers gave you $1,000. How's that?
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
Talk about that.
Yeah, we definitely we got a donation to the program, which we can definitely use. But it's fun just being recognized, and it goes to all the coaches in our program. We have 5 coaches total. They're amazing. They're top of the line. So it's Coaches of the Week in my book.
That's great. That's great that the Chargers are actually doing that, not only for flag football, but they're doing it for boys football and so forth and so on. And hopefully they'll keep it on, during the other seasons too. Maybe give out the volleyball and basketball and stuff like that. But you got to give the Chargers a lot of credit. Football is their sport, though, and I understand why they're giving you guys the Coach of the Week and stuff like that. It's great, man. It's fantastic. So I know it's probably not too cool, but maybe it is. Talk about, man, Beckman last night getting over on a top seed. Man.
That is amazing. I'm so happy for them because they worked so hard all season. They re-leagued, so they're in a new league this year. Mm-hmm. They just battled and worked so hard to earn the playoff spot, and then now winning the first round, moving on to the second. I have confidence in them.
But they weren't supposed to win last year. They were down. I mean, you're playing a top seed, one of the top seeds.
That's true. You got to play the game, though.
Yeah, that's why we play them.
That's right.
That's exactly why we play them. Looks like they're getting ready for some more interviews, Coach. I got to just compliment you on what you've been doing down here in Orange County. The schools aren't quite as big as they are in L.A. County and stuff like that, but those are the guys you're going to have to mix with the end. But I just think you guys are enjoying it.
Definitely enjoying it. And one of the cool things is, speaking of the Chargers too, is they do end of the season they do an Orange County versus LA All-Star game.
Oh, did they? Okay, that's
Yes.
right. That's right.
So last year they had the first one and Orange County won. So hopefully Orange County could take it again for another year and really show those bigger schools what we're all about.
Did the girls that do flag, did they do it at halftime or something, or is there any promotion for the flag football team during the All-Star games?
So they do it at SoFi Stadium, but they do it in the afternoons before the games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. John, we all set? Okay, John Conte doing some last-minute preparations over there. Coach, who's he got over there? Those are your people, right?
Yeah, so he has Mia starting on the left. We have Sophia, we have Zoe, and Alexa, 4 of our fabulous athletes here on the Woodbridge Flag Football team.
John, go get it.
Telling you, it's a great night for Woodbridge High School flag football. They are league champs. They won 33-0 yesterday in a playoff game. Mia, let me start with you. You're a senior. I know it's your last year here. You've been playing for all 4 years. The last 2 years, it's a real sport. How does it feel to win league and win a playoff game right away?
It feels really good, especially since it's my last season. So it was really exciting to have that experience, and especially like having this be our first playoff game like ever. It was super exciting.
So you guys actually set a record in the history books by being Woodbridge High School getting a CIF win. So real quick, before I let you go, how's your head coach? What do you think of that guy? I understand he's your father.
He's all right.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Mark and Mia, well, her whole life, and Mark for 30-some-odd years. All right, let me go over here to you. Please introduce yourself again for everybody.
Hi, I'm Sofia Peñaflor.
I know your dad, Mickey. I know Mickey. I know everybody here. And I also graduated Woodbridge in 1992, but nobody cares about me. Tell me what it's been like being on this team, winning a playoff game. What's it all about to you?
I mean, it's been great, honestly. Like, this season just went so well for us, going undefeated in league, and then getting, like, a win in, like, one of the first CIF games for flag football was just amazing, especially getting a shutout, too, was just awesome.
I was just saying, not only was it a win, but it was a huge win, so thank you very much. All right, let me go over here to my left. Go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Hi, my name is Zoe Seaman.
And Zoe, are you a junior?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior, so we have another senior. Now, what do you feel? I mean, what are your emotions knowing that this is pretty much your last run at this?
Oh, I'm sad about it. I've been playing since 5th grade, so, like, but it is a really good experience for all of us. We've grew up playing together. We've played since Matt Leinart, so it was really fun to be able to have the opportunity to play in high school all together. This year was kind of a rebuild year, so it was honestly really exciting for us to make playoffs because, you know, we started from scratch, but I'm glad that we made it as far as we did. I'm proud of us. So
I don't know if you'd call it a rebuild year, maybe more of a reload year, because here you guys are champions and you're winning playoff games. All right, introduce yourself, please, for everybody.
Hi, my name's Alexa Lincheski. I'm a junior.
So you're a junior. You have one more year left. Talk to me. What has this experience been like playing flag football on the high school level?
It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed playing with all my senior friends, and I just have a beautiful team. I'm really, really lucky to be a Woodbridge Warrior, and I'm really excited for next year as well.
Fantastic. Well, here you go. I got all the Woodbridge Warriors with me. They're going to the playoffs again on Saturday. I wish you all nothing but the best, and let me send it over to the desk with Bob Gibson and Coach Matt Gogan of Rosary Academy.
All right, thank you, John. Appreciate that. The Warriors with a chance to move on and win a championship. Matt Gogan is with us. Coach, good to see you.
Great seeing you too, Bob. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out. Rosary Academy. Now, it's the only all-girls school in Orange County, right? So it makes it almost a natural that you would have flag football.
Yeah.
Obviously at Rosary, right? A very small school.
Very, very
right?
small.
So you're drawn from a small student body to get athletes out there. So I got to imagine when you first were establishing the program a year ago, it was like, okay, what other athletes want to come play football, right?
Yeah.
Was that kind of the process for you?
Absolutely. Rosary currently has 460 students. Last year, again, you're trying to establish a program, trying to find out exactly kind of where you're going to fit in as far as how many teams you're going to have. We were fortunate enough to have a varsity and JV team last year. We had 29 girls. But with the growth of the sport and just so much excitement around it all over the place, we ended up having 49 kids this year, and it was just a tremendous experience for everyone involved.
Now, Rosary was a Trinity League team up until this year. You
Yes.
re-leagued. I'll ask you about that in just a minute. But you've got great athletes at the school. So even though you have a small student body, you have so many great athletes at your school. We know the state championship basketball team you've got, and softball team that's won championships there. Coach Tice has done so well there. So right away, you know you've got some good athletes to pull from, right?
Yeah, the game itself the skill set can derive from so many different sports, right? And all of these girls, most of them will be playing club soccer or travel softball. So we knew going in that we were going to have a solid athletic core. But as soon as the girls started to play, then word started to spread, right? So then more of the athletes started coming out. The experience has been incredible. We've been very, very fortunate.
It's a unique journey, and for you, you played football at Servite.
Yes.
You're a Servite Friar.
Yes.
What made you want to get into coaching? I assume you started coaching tackle football at first.
Yes.
What made you decide, hey, I want to go coach flag football now?
Yeah, great question. So my son is currently a junior at Servite High School. He plays baseball, and he did play football. I have 2 young daughters that, due to the timing of COVID, didn't really have that opportunity to be in a travel sport.
Right.
So they kind of lost out at 8, 9, and 10 years old to be in travel soccer. I'm sorry, travel softball or club soccer.
Right.
They fell in love with this sport, and I'm super stoked for them because this next season, I believe you're going to actually start to have primary sport flag football players. My daughter's currently in 8th grade, and she's a primary sport flag football player. Really excited about it. But the fact that I have, 2 daughters, the fact that my son goes to Servite, obviously Rosary's a great fit.
Right. Brother and sister schools, obviously, with each other. And I want to ask you about that because how many girls sort of came out and went, yeah, okay, I'll play because I want to do something and maybe stay in shape, and I'll try it out. But how many of those girls are like, oh, no, I'm a football player now. I love this sport.
Yeah, again, this year, because Rosary is a small school, what is great about it is they really promote the multi-sport athlete. Where there are schools where you come in for a specific sport. We really try to encourage girls to play multiple sports. Currently, we have a few girls where their focus is a flag football, a couple of the girls that you're actually going to be speaking with. And seeing their development as soon as they kind of locked it in and decided, hey, this is what we're going to do, it's been amazing.
And we're going to talk to your AD here in just a couple of minutes, but obviously it's a great relationship you have with her, with your other AD, obviously Tom Tice, at the school. And it's just fun to see how the sport has just grown so quickly in just a small amount of time. I thought, there's no way we're going to get playoffs by the second year, and here we are. We're in the playoffs, right?
Unbelievable. The game has evolved so much. I was just talking with a few of our coaches last night, where last year was more about development, kind of finding out who actually wanted to play, who would enjoy it, right? This year was actually about scheming. Like, you're scheming for games, scheming for practices, and showing disguised defenses. It was a great experience with great growth. Just all in all, from year 1 to year 2, the fact that CIF has taken off the way it is. I mean, last night we had a tough loss against Torrance, but seeing that there's 32 teams in Division 2, 3, 4, and 5 with 16 in D1, and these girls are fantastic athletes. I mean, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah. I mentioned you were a Trinity League team a year ago, so that would have been Orange Lutheran, which is the #1 team in the nation, right? So some really good programs there. But you got re-leagued, right? Out of the Trinity now. Omega League? Is that the
Pacific Coast Conference.
Pacific Coast Conference. Okay, right. So how was that for you the first year being re-leagued? And the whole idea, I know, talking to you and some of the people at Rosary, was a chance to be better competitive because the Trinity League is crazy. And a student body of 485 is hard to go up against some of those other Trinity teams with much bigger student bodies.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, Orange Lutheran, Mater Dei, Santa Margarita, and J. Sarah are all great teams. St. Joseph's is a great team. They're not part of the Trinity League. But I'll tell you what, joining the Pacific Coast Conference with Woodbridge, Northwood, University, these are some fantastic schools. Laguna Beach, tremendous growth from last year. We saw excellent athletes at Irvine. Portola had some great athletes. I mean, the development in this particular conference, all 4 of the schools in Division 2 should do very, very well. We ended up losing. I think University lost yesterday. But, I mean, Woodbridge is a fantastic team. They were ranked #2 in the country last year. And Northwood has one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. She's unbelievable.
So how does the future look for Royal football?
No, great question. We were just talking about it yesterday on the way home from the game. And we were discussing the fact that, yes, of course I want to come back and do it again. It's really just going to boil down to how many teams we end up having. From a growth perspective, clearly we go from 49. We could probably max out at 60. Now, whether or not we're going to have 3 teams or not, but I will tell you this: you're going to have a lot of excitement. We haven't had tryouts the first 2 years.
Okay.
To encourage girls to come out,
Sure.
but also promote the sport and just try to have some fun, right? But that being said, I think next year we're probably going to have some tryouts and get hard working because it's only growing from here.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we got some of your players over here with John on the. Who are we looking at over here? Who are we talking
To left to right, Sophie Lickles, a star wide receiver and free safety. Demi Toda, an unbelievable middle linebacker. She led the country in tackles last year. And Bella Contreras threw for over 6,000 yards this year. I mean, fantastic quarterback.
That's pretty good, huh?
Great leaders.
That's
great
pretty
leaders.
good.
Yes.
All right, let's throw it over to John with the ladies.
It's a star-studded lineup over here, hanging out with the Rosary Academy ladies. All right, let's start right here on the end. You're a sophomore, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you still have 2 more years of this. What can you look forward to at being at Rosary Christian playing more flag football?
I'm super excited to see how much the program grows and to see how many more girls want to try it. I'm just super excited. More wins, getting busy.
Not only are you a great athlete, but you're also a 4.0 student as well. So congratulations to you. Love hearing that. All right, let me go to my right here. Please introduce yourself again to everybody.
I'm Demi Toda.
All right, Demi, I understand you're like the captain on the field when it comes to pulling flags. I know it looks easy, but it's not easy. What is your trick to pulling those flags?
My trick is, just go with both hands.
That's important stuff. That's important stuff. Too many times I see grabbing and reaching. You got to square up. You got to get both of those flags. But you've been doing it consistently since you've been. So there has to be some trick. What makes you so much better than everybody else at pulling flags?
Honestly, you just got to keep your eye on it. Watch the hips, because sometimes the flags can move, but keeping an eye on the hips really helps to keep the hand-eye coordination. So yeah.
I love that advice. Ladies, watch the hips. That's what happens. And you're a senior, so you're going to be departing this year. Anything you'd like to say to your coach or your teammates as you get out of here?
I'm just so grateful and thankful for the experience that I got to have. Flag football is just starting, so I'm really excited for the team to develop and, keep going.
And I understand you might have more teams next year as well. Well, thank you both. All right. To my left, would you please introduce yourself again?
Yes, I'm Bella Contreras, and I'm a senior.
All right, Bella, I'm fascinated with your story. If I'm not mistaken, you were the starting center last year, correct?
Yes, I was.
And now you're the starting quarterback, and you threw for 7,000, 8,000 yards this season. The field's only 80 yards long. I don't know how you did it. How were you able to be so successful with the first year as being quarterback?
Yeah, so last year I was able to practice with JV here and there. I threw a couple games for them. So this year wasn't entirely new, but I got some work in last year. And honestly, having players like Sophie on the field makes it easy to hit them.
That's amazing. And as a senior, you're going to be getting out here. Anything you want to say to Coach or any of your teammates?
To Coach Matt, thank you for being so passionate. And he put a lot of trust into Demi and I, so thank you for doing that. And to the girls, thank you for having fun and letting us be your captains. I had a lot of fun with you guys this year.
All right, well, thank you very much. I got the Rosary Academy captains. Now I'm going to go back to the desk with Bob Gibson and some special guests from Rosary.
All righty. Thanks, John. We appreciate it. All right, we're joined back at the desk with Coach Hogan, but we have Maggie Kaluzny with us, athletic director at Rosary. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Bob.
We were just talking about, while the girls were on over there, the growth of this sport has just been crazy. It's unprecedented, I think, really. I mean, in your time as an athletic director, have you seen anything like this?
Absolutely not. I've never seen anything like this. It's truly incredible. The way that it's become so pervasive throughout the entirety of Orange County and California and the country, honestly. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this, and I hope that this growth just continues because, wow.
What was your best case scenario when you found out, okay, we're going to have flag football, this is going to be a thing? What in your head was the best case scenario about how quickly this thing could get off the ground?
Our best case scenario was Matt Gogan. I'm going to be honest with you. That is our best case scenario. This man came on campus and his enthusiasm and energy just captivated all of our student body. So I knew this was not going to be a problem for our kids. I had no questions. Everywhere else, it was kind of like, well, we'll see what happens. Our kids jumped in head first before we even started. They're like, we have flag football? We have flag football? Let's play flag football. I heard Coach Gogan, let's play flag football. So I had no worries about us, but it's incredible to see the growth everywhere.
Right. And now, Coach, you get great support. It's important for a head coach of any sport to get great support from their administration, right? And you get that at Rosary, right? You've got 2 great athletic directors to work with.
Absolutely. One of the best parts about it is when we watch film. So we'll wait till class gets out. and then we wait for the teacher to actually leave their class, and then they tell us, yes, of course you can use our classroom for film. No, all in all the way around, has been nothing but support from the entire Rosary community, which is very, very large. It's been a true blessing, but our girls feel it too, and because they promote the multi-sport athlete, other coaches are also promoting it as well.